Oh, wes sih, tak record. Wes metu. Yo.
Hello everyone, welcome to our podcast with me Adevta Pratama and my partner.
Hello everyone, my name is Elang Waksito Banyu.
Hello Elang, how are you?
Hello Adevta, I'm fine. How about you?
I'm very good. Well, are you ready to start this podcast with me?
Sure, I'm so excited to start this podcast with you. What's our topic today, Adevta?
The topic is American and British culture, so let's get started the podcast. For the
For
audience,
the
we will talk about the different American British culture with chill and enjoy.
Okay, first we will talk about the history of language, American and British culture.
Okay, Elang, can you explain the history of language American and British for the audience, please?
My pleasure. Okay, I will explain about the history of language. Okay, first, the history of language. The British actually introduced the language to the Americas when they reached this land by sea between the 16th and 17th centuries. At the time, spelling had not yet been standardized. It took the writing of the first dictionaries to set in stone how these words appeared. In the UK, the dictionary was compiled by a London-based scholar. Meanwhile, in the United States, the lexicographer was a man named Noah Webster. Allegedly, he changed how the words were spelled to make the American version different from the British as a way of showing cultural cultural independence from his mother country. And the next American English is actually older. This isn't something you should tell to a British person, because we're the country that gave birth to America as we know it today. But these facts are really true. When the first settlers set sail from England to America, they took with them the common tongue at the time, which was based on something they called rhotic speech. When you pronounce the R in a word. Meanwhile, back in widely southern cities of the UK, people from the new higher class wanted a way to distinguish themselves from everyone else. So they start changing their rhotic speech to a soft R sound, saying words like winter as winter instead of winter. Of course, these people were boss and everyone wanted to copy them. So this new way of speaking, which British people now refer to as Richard pronunciation, spread across the rest of the south of England. Okay, the next Devta.
Okay, I will explain about the British are generally more quiet than Americans. This may depend on personal reason, but it seems that most British people are not inclined to strike up a conversation with strangers. Even among friends, Brits tend to avoid sharing personal feelings and emotion, while Americans do not find sharing personal talk and feeling wrong or embarrassing. So here is another big difference between UK and US. Okay, Lang?
Um, Next is the British are generally more quiet than Americans. This may depend on personal reason, but it seems that most British people are not inclined to strike up a conversation with strangers. Even among friends, Brits tend to avoid sharing personal feeling and emotion. while Americans do not find sharing personal talk and feeling wrong or embracing. So here is another bigger difference between UK and US. And the next data.
Okay, I will explain about the politics in the UK is not as easy as in the US. At this point, we want to clarify that there is no real differences between the political situation in the UK and the US. So, let's say we want to highlight this as exception to the rule. Okay, Lang?
Okay. Next is driving in the UK will take you decades back in time. What this means is that most of the cars in the UK are still manual. The British are very old-fashioned. When it comes to cars, if we visit maybe need to rent a bicycle. Make sure to be able to drive or taking driving lesson beforehand. And the last of that,
Okay, I will explain the last of the topic it is. The value of the US dollar is not the same as the British pound. At first, you may mistake the pound for the dollar. You should learn better conversion rates because a pound is a little more than a dollar. If you spend money without thinking about it, you will end up spending more than you want. Okay, that is some podcast from me and Elang. So excited, isn't it? Okay, stay tuned and stay on the next podcast. Thank you for
thank
your
you
attention.
everyone.
Thank you,
Thank you for
everyone.
listening. Bye.
Goodbye.